Hey guys, I hope you're having a great start to your day. I wanted to pop on it very briefly to kind of address the singles. I've been getting a lot of DMs from you guys and just wanted to pop on and do a quick chat for you guys. And I've been getting a lot of questions kind of regarding how do I know if this is the one? How do I know if this person is a good fit? You know, what do I need to be looking at? X, Y, Z. And so I can put out a list for you guys later of some common questions that I think are good to ask yourself about this. But I wanted to pop on and talk about a subject that I haven't talked about quite as much with you guys. And I think that it's really, really critical when you are really praying about the person that God has for you. And I wanted to tell you this phrase: singles, you are marrying that person's character. Amen. You're marrying that person's character. You know, I think that a lot of the times in our personal lives, what we do is we look at things that are a little bit more surface level. Now, I will preface, when I'm saying all of this stuff is not bad to look for. Amen. I truly believe that God is a God that fulfills the desires of your heart. Amen. And he wants good things for you. So he's not going to send you a dud of a spouse. Okay. I want to comfort you in that. All right. But with that being said, I don't think we spend enough time looking at the things that matter the most a lot of the time. And I want to talk to you guys about that today. So we've talked about in the past that a person's character is what makes up who they really are. You know, character is someone's work ethic. Character is how someone treats other people. You know, character is, are they reliable? You know, character is, do they have a depth with their walk with God? Character is this person obedient? You know, or do they just run after their own flesh and their own desires? Character is, can this person utilize self-control? Character is, does this person wait on God? You know, character is this person respectful and loving? XYZ, right? We don't spend nearly enough time looking at that, I think, a lot of the time, as we do other factors. And yet that is going to be the thing that either makes or breaks your future marriage. Amen. You know, I'll tell you kind of things that I hear on the flip side from guys and gals. You know, I think the thing that trips guys up a lot of the time is they will meet a crazy, attractive, gorgeous woman, but she kind of has a dud of a personality, you know. She's, you know, either manipulative or just really boring and they don't click and XYZ. But because she's so pretty, the guy's like, oh, okay, I'll take this person, kind of whatever, you know. And then they end up, you know, the looks fade 10 or 20 years. And basically they're stuck with an awful person. Think of Samson and Delilah, right? You know, Delilah was a classic example of someone who was extremely manipulative, who did not have Samson's best interests at heart. And yet Samson kind of overlooked all of that because he was so attracted and in love with this woman, right? And she made his life absolutely crazy, attempted to take away the call of God on his life, caused him enormous heartache and strife. Amen. And so you've got to be really, really careful to look at their character and to see if they have a depth in their walk with God first or foremost. There's a lot of people who believe in Jesus. Even Satan believes in God. Amen. And so you've got to use a lot of wisdom and discernment. You're going to be spending the rest of your life with this person, ladies and gents. Is it a person who you can have fun with? Is it a person who you can laugh with, who draws you closer in your walk with God, who brings you peace? Those are the things, ladies and gents, that you need to be really examining when you are asking God about your future spouse. I want to talk to the ladies for a second. I talked to the guys, now I want to talk to the ladies. Ladies, you know, you cannot just focus on superficial things up front. You know, I've met a lot of women who, you know, they want a guy to show up perfect in terms of his finances, in terms of everything, you know, and I want to tell you guys what I would be looking at more is that guy's character. Amen. If he's got a hard work ethic and if he is trying to be obedient to God, you know, sometimes things don't have to look perfect up front. You can build together, amen, quote unquote, an empire. You know, you can work on stuff. And if the guy has good character and if he's got a vision for his life, God will take care of things. Amen. You know, but I think that so often we focus on very surface level kinds of things, you know, and we're not as much focused on the deeper things, amen, that God is really focused on. And so all of that to say, ladies and gents, how's that person's character? Amen. Do they have a depth in their walk with God, or is it just very surface level? Is it just not very great? I want you to look at how they treat the people around them. Amen. Look at how they treat their parents. Look at how they treat, the restaurant worker. Look at the level of respect that they're giving you. Are they dismissive towards you? Amen. Are they demeaning or degrading? Do they have a hot temper? This is the stuff that people don't think about a lot in initial stages of dating or getting to know someone. And I want to tell you guys, this is the stuff that can either make your marriage amazing or it can make it awful. Amen. And so you want to find someone that has a true heart for Jesus and that truly is demonstrating the fruit of the Spirit in their life. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck living with Delilahs. You're going to be stuck living with the Hamans of this world that are super controlling, that are awful. Pick a person in the Bible that we deem as being not so great, right? These root behaviors, a lot of them have to do with that person's character. And I think that so often what we do in our lives, because we're not healed, is we will stay attracted to the same type of person over and over and over again in our personal lives, And a lot of times that has to do with, we have a particular type that we like, or there's a certain thing that we've always looked for in the past, which is not necessarily a bad thing, right? But a lot of times we're attracted to the same types of people, and we get the same people with a different face over and over and over again in our personal lives because there's unhealed junk down on the inside of us that we are not allowing God to address. Amen. That's why you keep getting the people who, maybe they look good, but they're awful, to be around, and they treat you awfully, or you keep getting the same kind of abusive people in your personal life. And so that's why I want to tell you guys, put the ball in God's court. Say, God, show me if I need to open myself up to being open to something that looks a little different from what I previously thought that I wanted. Amen. I've heard stories where husbands and wives, have heard it from the gents and from the ladies over the years, where they, met their spouse and they instantly knew that they were the one. I've heard those stories. I've also heard stories from extremely godly marriages and from people who did wait on God and who did things his way, where initially they weren't super attracted to that person. They didn't think they were like super ugly either, but they just, it wasn't even on their radar. But then when God turned it on, he turned it on. And a lot of that came through getting to know the person and interacting with that person. They got more attractive as they got to know them. And so all of that to say, don't put limits on God. Amen. And if it feels a little bit out of your norm, amen, I want you guys to, trust God and to really look at the depth of, number one, their walk with God. Amen. And number two, their character. Those two things, ladies and gents, can make or break a marriage. Amen. And if they're just kind of a surfacey level, wishy-washy Christian, that can really do a lot of damage down the line. Finally, a prayer that I would encourage you guys to pray over every single relationship that you enter into is, God, if this person is not for me, I pray that you would remove them from my life. I pray that this wouldn't work out. Show me if this person is not for me. And that's kind of a bold and courageous prayer to pray. Amen. But what a powerful and what an important prayer to pray, because God knows your heart's desires better than you know your heart's desires. He sees what your life is going to look like in 10 or 20 years, and he knows what's best for you. Amen. God is not just going to pick someone who's good for you, but that doesn't tick mark the desire, of your heart, box. He wants to give you the full package. Amen. And so he can be trusted even more than you can trust yourself in this area of your life. But so many people refuse to pray this prayer because they don't really want to know the answer. Ladies and gents, you've got to do some self-introspection. Do you really want God's way in your personal life? Are you willing to trust him in this area of your life? And if you are, pray that prayer, because guess what? If his desire for you is to be married, his answer will not always be no to that. God only tells you no when he's got a better yes for you down the line, when he's trying to protect you from something, ladies and gents. And so if you're willing to surrender to him, if you're willing to wait on him in this area of your life, he can do phenomenal things for you. Amen. He can really blow your mind, because the gifts that he gives are exceedingly abundantly above and beyond all you could ever ask, hope for, or imagine. Now, he's not going to give you a perfect person, because perfect people don't exist. Amen. But he is going to give you someone that draws you closer to his heart, that's going to be a good gift, that's going to be good for you. And it's going to be the full package, ladies and gents. You know, God doesn't make you wait and then give you trash. That's just not who he is, ladies and gents. You know, so if you will trust and surrender this area of your life to him, he is able to do so much more than you could ever imagine. But you got to be willing to embrace his timing. You got to be willing to trust him. And it's a decision that you personally have to make for yourself. Amen. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll chat with you again soon.